of the path that addiction can take.
Overdose rates have been rising steadily for 2 decades now, but you seldom hear about one unless it involves someone famous. Well, drug overdoses now claim more lives of people 25 to 64 than car crashes. Dig deeper and you'll find that while drugs like heroin and cocaine have not gone away, it is legal drugs taking the deadliest toll. There were more than 38,000 overdose deaths in 2010 in the U.S., and the CDC says 60%, or 22,134 of them, were caused by prescription drugs. 75% of those, more than 16,000 deaths, involved opiates or prescription painkillers such as oxycodone or hydrocodone. Tonight, a closer look at what's been described as an invisible epidemic in this News 3 special report.
How old was he then?
He was about 5 or 6. We're losing so many kids every day. Every day, there's a new mom that lost a kid.
You may recognize Leslie Messenger as a former candidate for U.S. Congress, but she's also one of those moms who lost a kid.
They choose the drug once, and then the drug chooses them.
The drug that chose her son Austin and eventually killed him at the age of 24 was Oxycontin.
Oxycontin was originally made for terminal cancer patients, and nobody else should have them. It's so addictive.
The CDC says that in just 1 year, enough painkillers are prescribed to medicate every American adult around the clock for a month. Many people do legitimately need these drugs for pain relief, but they become a dangerous and costly obsession for others.
For me, it was getting my wisdom teeth taken out. And I can remember, taking, these prescription drugs and just, after the first time, just feeling great.
At some point in time, it went from being fun to no longer being a choice.
I was instantly addicted.
I talked to 3 recovering addicts at Willingway Hospital in Statesboro to get a better idea of the pull that prescription opiates can have on a person and the problems they can cause.
High depend on cough syrup was the first thing I ever used.
Wendy was working as a pharmacist when she became hooked. She eventually began shooting up opiates.
I lost everything. I lost my children, my home, my career, my family. The last year was just me being isolated in a small town in middle Georgia, doing drugs every day.
And there's Brandon, who finally found himself in jail for doctor shopping.
And I seemed to always find myself going back to it. I couldn't shake that mental obsession.
John told me increased tolerance is what puts many addicts at risk of overdose.
It starts out where I could take, 1 or 2, pills and be fine, and that would do it for me, but your tolerance increases. And it requires more where you're up to 10 or 12, and there was at a time where I was taking 40 pills a day. 40 pills a day, and then when you get to that level, the withdrawal is it's excruciating.
All 3 can now count long periods of sobriety and are now trying to help others who are still in the fight with active addiction. And so's Leslie Messenger, whose son lost his battle. She's hoping Georgia lawmakers will pass the 911 Good Samaritan bill that would grant immunity to those who report an overdose to police.
You cannot believe the moms that I have talked to whose kids are dead because their friends do not want to get in trouble.
Messenger is also taking a message to parents and others about what she says is a common myth.
I mean, that's what I've always heard is like, you have to let the drug addict hit bottom before you can help. Well, that's not true with today's drugs. Their bottom is death. I know so much more now. I know enough to save another kid. I wish I could have saved my own.
Such a very sad story, and a lot of people really don't realize how prevalent this is, Russ.
Yeah, I was surprised myself, especially that more people are dying from accidental overdoses than car crashes. And if you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, there is help available from treatment centers like Willingway, also self-help groups like Narcotics Anonymous.